Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to society and education. Our topic for the discussion is open book exams, pros and cons, and challenges. And to express their viewpoints in the same, we have with us Mr. Parish Arora, Chairman, Padmavati Senior Secondary School, Boreli. A very warm welcome to you, sir. So good to have you here. And thank you
Thank,
so much, sir, for sharing your precious time with us.
thank you.
To start off with the session, sir, I would like to address the very first question to you, sir, is, do you support the open book examinations? Can teachers evaluate a student's performance based on the open book test?
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Open book examination. I have heard this terminology approximately 15 years back when I got in touch with one of my friend in US. And in India, I attended one of the conferences wherein this was a very hot topic at that time. It was streaming approximately 7 years back with CBSE. I personally feel that open book examinations are really an amazing stuff, an amazing thing. It gives an opportunity for to the child to actually think apart from what is written in the book. You start imagining what exactly can be there in the textbook. If I put it in simple words, I remember a scene from a movie, Three Idiots, when Mr. Amir Khan was writing something on the blackboard. He wrote his friend's name in the movie Three Idiots, and he told everyone sitting in the hall to imagine what exactly is the meaning of these two words, and uh, he gave them 30 seconds. And if you recall that movie, you will find that nobody was actually thinking that these can actually be the words of his friends. So I personally believe that if you really need to tell the students, if you really want your students to think out of the box, then open book examinations are an amazing thing, and I really support that. Next, if you talk about the next part of the question is, can teachers really evaluate a student performance? I really feel so, because teachers are equipped with, they know exactly what the topic and what the subject is all about. So for a teacher, it is, if a teacher is, it's a teacher is a good teacher, then I'm sure then teacher can easily evaluate the performance of the child in open book test.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, coming up with another thing that I would like to ask is, with the conventional mode of examinations, students fear to study. But with open book exams, they can lurk for answers and affect their memory training. In the light of this, do you think open book examinations has more cons than pros?
I don't think so. So whenever this thing comes up to my mind with respect to open book examination, uh, I really ask myself, and I really ask the educators with whomsoever I discuss about this examination, what do we want? Do we want our students to be trained or well educated? So if you want your students to be well trained, open book examinations has got more cons. But if you really want your students to be well educated, then I'm sure it has got more pros than cons. So if a child, if I'm given an opportunity that I really have to appear in an open book examination, I first need to know the book. I first need to know what exactly is written in the book. I need to know where it is written. What sense is it making? How many questions can I frame from that particular paragraph? There are small things which are very important with respect to understanding the concepts and the books. So I feel open book examinations has got very less cons than pros. And students, if somebody is opting for open book examination, they will definitely be understanding that topic in a better way.
Absolutely, sir. So it's like you are saying that it gives you a creative wing. It gives the mind a creative branch to thinking out of the box in terms of normal questions, or something which could come up with another 10 4 lines, and you just have to come up with what all other possibilities of answering that way in a more creative way, or what could be the possible ways of creative questions that could be found from there, right?
Exactly. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, what are the challenges to conduct open book exams at schools? Since you said that there are less of cons and more of pros. Pro.
So the first challenge is the teaching methodology. That is what is very very important. I will not say that this problem is there in some of the schools, but largely what I've seen, teachers whenever they explain a chapter, they're focusing more on the question answer part, which is there at the backside of the chapter. And I've seen teachers telling the students to mark the answers from within the chapter, which is the biggest problem which they need to change. If you talk about open book examinations, you cannot mark the answers from within the chapter. You need to find good questions from within the chapter, and then you have to find a solution. So the biggest challenge which I feel in India is that the books are not designed in such a manner, the training of the teachers are not done in such a manner wherein they are equipped with conducting an open book examination. So I feel the biggest challenge is training of the teachers, and how do you actually frame the questions. Teachers need to teach the students how to frame a good question, not to frame a good answer. That is a big challenge, which I feel if it is introduced in a good way, then I'm sure students will definitely be able to give the open book examination in a very effective manner.
Absolutely, sir. So, what you can portray to us is that you should have the entire system of teaching. So, methodology in terms of answering the questions which is already there, to framing the questions with the text that has already been provided to us. So, if we talk about a chapter, so rather than focusing on back questions, we should focus. So, but we have. So if I come from a school and I come from an education system wherein in higher classes you are supposed to have that knowledge from the content and from the context so much that any question can pop up, and we do have extra questions and we do have questions from between the text, wherein sometimes we've been just thrown up by a surprise to answer that. So we do have all these things, but it's, yeah. So maybe you're saying that the term of ratifying certain things or to cram
Exactly.
certain things, you're trying to avoid that, right?
Exactly. So, Vishaka, if I recall my college days, I'm talking about college days. I'm not talking about school days. I'm talking about my college days when I was a student and I was studying in one of the good colleges of India. I was there in Delhi University, and one of my school friend was studying in different university where he just had to graduate. That was the only objective of completing the education, was he want a graduate degree. Uh, he told me that in his particular college he was given 20 odd questions for that examination. Out of those 20, 10 will come in the final examination, which he has to appear. So you are not enabling a child to think out of the box. That is the problem. That is what I told you, that it is very important to understand what is written in the book. It is not important to ratify or to understand the questions only. It is important to understand the concepts. That is what I said. Do you need a well trained child or a well educated child? There's a lot of difference in that.
Absolutely, sir. So to what extent is learning affected by open book exams?
So now, talking about open book examinations, learning will not have that adverse effect with respect to students. It is very important for a child to understand the particular chapter. So I'm sure if I'm given an opportunity now to teach my kids, my own two daughters, they have to understand with the chapter, I'll be very happy. They will be better. They will understand the chapter in a better way. They will understand the concept in a better way. They will understand how what all best possible questions can come from within the chapter. If given an opportunity, I'm sure open book examinations will have a very positive learning outcome. I'm sure about it.
So to have a better impact towards your creative learning, towards understanding and having a world to a more creative and imaginative world, uh, we have to have a open book examination wherein you not only imbibe the lesson, you not only imbibe the information provided to you, but also you can have your open understanding to a particular topic, a particular context that we are talking about, right? So should there be any limitation while conducting open book exams?
Not at all. If given a chance, if my board allows me, then probably I will enter a classroom, any classroom in my school, and let's say, given an example of class 7th, 8th, if I'm a science teacher, if given an opportunity again, then I will ask my students to write whatever they know about that particular topic. That is the perfect way of assessment. If you are not restricting your students to just those questions which are written on the backside of the book, then I'm sure they will have an amazing learning, amazing learning. I don't want my students to be well trained. That these are the questions you have to understand, and then you have to as in spill it out in the
Emerge
examination. I
it,
don't
yeah.
want that. So there should not be any limitations. Or in open book examination, if given an opportunity, again, I just said, I will write only the chapter name, and I will tell my students whatever you know, frame the questions and then frame the answers. That should be the best way, as in with respect to understanding of a particular topic.
So, but don't you think, since you've said this, so don't you think, doing this in a collective way, or to cater to the masses, it's really a difficult thing to go through, because as teachers also it will be different. So one every student must have a different way of understanding and a different perspective altogether to uh, just understand and relate to a particular context. So when we're talking about, since you've said that, I'll just give you a name, a lesson name, and you have to just whatever comes to your mind, you have to write about it, you have to be creative about it, frame or on your own questions to sir what but we are talking here about the major chunk of the students, wherein we do have traditional way of learning, but open book examination, when it comes to creative answers or creative, so do you think it will be difficulty to the educators like you, in order to evaluate a student? Because see, here we still have certain uniformity in order to understand what could be the desired answer. But when you talk about somebody's creativity, it is like everybody writing up different article or a different blog or a different piece of writing on the same topic. Because for example, my way of looking at a world and your way of looking at a world will be two different aspects, based on your experiences, your growing up, your family background, or the place that you live in. So don't you think it will be difficult for all the educators and teachers like you to evaluate a student and to give them rankings and marks based on that?
So, Vishaka, absolutely correct. So, to answer this, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, sir.
What is the color of the sky?
Blue. Like we all know.
Okay. And as in, I don't know that, to be very honest.
We've been
Ask
taught that,
if
yeah. So
you,
it is blue,
if you
it's
ask me,
white, it's
if
black. So the common
yes,
answer that comes in.
absolutely correct, absolutely correct. Now the point is, if you are asking a question, what is the color of the sky? Like Vishaka, everybody will say blue. I might not say blue all the time. I might say black because at night it is black. So it's all the perspective. But so now you need to understand whether giving the answer black is the color of the sky is wrong or right. So whatever you are saying, I absolutely copy your point that students come from different scenarios with different books. But my question is, if friction, I have to explain friction in UP board, CBSE board, ICSE board, IB board, or to a village child, or to a Delhiite, Delhi students or a Bareilly students, will there be a different explanation? No, the concept is same. The answers can be different depending upon the nature of the book, in the manner in which it is explained in the book. Maybe the examples can be different, but the concept will always remain the same. So I feel that if you're talking from again a limitations point of view, it is we who already also confined ourselves in education. I remember I was doing a conference. I was one of the moderators in one of the conferences, and I was training kindergarten teachers. And Vishaka, when I told everyone, please draw a scenery. If you recall your childhood days, if I tell you to draw a scenery, you will definitely draw a house,
Mountain.
uh, and there'll be clouds, there'll be a passage, there'll be one tree, there'll be one window in the house. This is what has defined our limitations. This is what I'm talking about. There are no limitations in open textbook. Again, drawing a scenery of those old days, which Vishaka have done and I have done in my school days, and which students are doing these days. But don't you think we are limiting our students to actually think out of the box? We are. If A can be A is an apple, so A can be something else also. Why don't teachers explain A as an ant in the first go? Why? What is the color of an apple? Everybody says it's red. Why? You're talking about those countries where there are only pink and white apples. Ask them what is the color of an apple. They'll say in a different way. So limitations are set by the teachers and the curriculum, not by the students. This is what we teach them. The concept will always remain the same. Open textbook examination will definitely remove those boundaries in front of a child. And once those boundaries are removed, trust me, you will see a better human being, a better child, a well educated child, not a well trained child. This is what we need to understand.
To have a well educated child and not a well trained child is the takeaway of this session, wherein Paristar has clearly told us that you need to have a well educated child who has a creative wing to its kitty, right from the kindergarten stage, right from the way you are learning step by step. So it's like you are giving your, you are spreading your wings the moment you grow. The moment you are understanding the world is the moment you understand how creative one could be, right, sir? So that's what we can take away from this session.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. I'm sure somebody from the board, somebody from the government will see this session in days to come, and they will also have some perspective with respect to open textbook examination. And I'm sure in days to come in India also, like other developed countries, we will have open textbook examinations which are implemented and also in a very positive way. And again, in open textbook examinations, if followed, then I'm sure students will not get a chance to answer only those questions which are mentioned at the backside of the book. They will be allowed to frame and then answer the questions. That is what is very, very important.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time and imbibing this knowledge to all of us with the small talk that we just had. It was really an insightful session, indeed a fruitful session, wherein we could understand a different perspective towards creative learning, creative understanding, and creative way of dealing stuff in a very regulated way. So looking forward to much more sessions like this. I, Sakshi, host of the evening, would like to sign off with a promise to come up yet another session with a more challenging creative thought attached to it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Do subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more notifications. Share, you can do whatever. We are promising to come up with more informational sessions like these.